Hello and welcome to the Guy Panic Podcast, recorded November 21st, 2024. We have a lot of horrible, awful things to get today, but also a kind of fun thing to talk about. Anyways, on to horrible news stories. Number one, from AP. Was it all a joke? How stand-up comedy helped re-elect Donald Trump? Okay, so did stand-up comedians help re-elect Donald Trump? Not a joke, as outgoing President Joe Biden might say. Trump has been the butt of countless late-night monologues and Saturday Night Live sketches for the better part of a decade, as much of Hollywood tracked the highs and lows of his political career with revulsion and ridicule. In the weeks leading up to Election Day, he sat for interviews with podcasts and comedians who occupy an increasingly popular space where political discourse is mediated through roast-style insults, right-leaning conspiracy theories, and mockery of the left. So, did making a million stupid SNL jokes beat Donald Trump? I think we can all agree it didn't. In fact, it's probably the biggest waste of time on this planet ever. How do I explain this properly? Okay, if you have a thing you dislike and you want to communicate that dislike to other people, you don't do it through jokes. That's not it, right? You do it through, hatred and disgust and, making them seem super scary and just off-putting and just gross. That's how you do it, right? No one's ever won the propaganda war joking about the enemy candidate, right? If you go on Joe Rogan, you go on shit-ass Tim Pool, you go on any of these podcasts they're talking about here, they don't sit there and say nothing but jokes about Kamala Harris. They might have a couple of those, but for the most part, they freak out. They go, she's so scary. She's gonna be a mega evil communist. She's gonna make us all trans, right? They perpetuate tons and tons of scary bits about her, right? They make their audiences fear this political candidate, right? SNL doesn't do that. You know what SNL does? It makes people think that Donald Trump is a funny orange man, because that's what they do. Okay, that's what they think would work, is that they just keep making fun of him, right? It's not working. Also, a bit of a different point here. People who religiously watch Joe Rogan or SNL already have their minds made up as to who they're gonna vote for. Okay, that's basically already a decision they've made by being this locked into a certain kind of show or media, right? Now, there are swing voters or swing viewers, I guess is the word for it, who watch both or watch either and go, oh, maybe, right? And would it have helped Kamala's image to do a podcast besides call her daddy? Yes, a lot, right? First off, I'm sorry, but okay, if I was running a presidential campaign in 2024, I would be doing 1 trillion podcasts. I'd go on everyone's show. Shit, I'd go on this show, which no one watches. Just kidding, people watch it. Yes, I'd do that. I would go on Joe Rogan. He offered. They said no. Why? Because apparently Harris's campaign was scared that he might ask her about weed and how she locked people up for weed. Which, are they afraid of humility? Can they not have her go up there and say, you know what, I feel bad and I think we should have these people get released. I think it should be decriminalized. That would help so many people. A lot of people, I'm serious about this. I'm so serious about this, okay? A lot of people didn't realize that Harris was for, decriminalizing marijuana at the federal level. Now, would she have done it? Would have happened? But, that was a populist point she had. That was a thing she said she was going to do. There weren't a lot of those. Not enough, really. Not enough that appealed to the populist sentiment that Americans love right now, right? But, going to the podcast that probably 100% has the most weed smokers listening to on the planet, Joe Rogan, a guy who the only thing Joe Rogan gets mad about on his podcast is when the guest doesn't like weed, like Steven Crowder, okay? That's funny. Look that up. Look up when Steven Crowder argued with Joe Rogan on weed. It's so weird and different than any other Joe Rogan bit, because Joe Rogan usually is very conciliatory. If he has a disagreement, he doesn't get angry about it. He goes, he goes like that. This time he was actually almost mad. It was great. But yeah, you could have done that. You You could have gone other podcasts that might have, also communicated your message. Sure, there are probably some podcasts that wouldn't have her on. I don't think that Tim Pool would have had her on, but no one wants to be on Tim Pool anyways. But just go on things, get your message out. It's cheap, it's free. That's the thing. All she had to do was just fly to stupid Texas and sit in that stupid chair, and she would have gotten millions of people listening to what she thinks. That's the point. That's the goal. And she didn't do that. Why? Because her campaign was run by idiots who think it's still like 2010. Even then, by 2010, podcasts were big. Oh, we need the leftist Joe Rogan. No, Joe Rogan's his own thing. I don't think he's inherently right-wing. I think he's conspiratorial, which leads you to right-wing thinking. But I don't think there's there are podcasts that are completely and totally focused on being right-wingers. But the thing of Joe Rogan is that if you ask an average person, he's just gonna think, oh, he's just like a guy. He does a funny podcast. They don't think of him as political. They don't think of him as partisan. Even though his messaging usually is rather partisan, he doesn't put himself out like that. If you make if you astroturf some stupid comedian turned podcast where they just go purely partisan, people will probably notice it. They do that shit in a natural, relaxed way, right? Like me, who is totally nonpartisan, right? Okay, back to the article here. The Trump era has coincided with the rise of the hour-long Netflix special and comedy podcast. And while the world of stand-up is as diverse as the nation itself, some of its hottest acts have punched left. Dave Chappelle has repeatedly courted controversy by mocking transgender activists. Bill Burr has roasted feminists with relish, most recently in his post-election SNL monologue. Quote, "All right, ladies, you're 0-2 against this guy," which is a funny joke, AP writer. It's a very funny joke because it's true. Even Michelle Wolf, who famously roasted Trump in 2018, White House Correspondents' Dinner, has an extended riff in her 2022 special critiquing hashtag #MeToo, calling it the worst run movement ever seen. And guess what? It was, because movements don't work online if they're not organized, but that's whatever. None of these comics publicly supported Trump, but nonetheless trained their fire on the so-called woke left, a boogeyman of Trump's campaign. Okay, listen, the only person there who I think actually contributed towards Trump winning was Dave Chappelle. Because, the only thing, because he actually did the culture war thing of, saying trans people are, the biggest threat in the planet because he's stupid, right? Yes. Bill Burr? No, I don't think Bill Burr is a chud. I think he's good. And what he said on SNL was right? It was funny. Michelle Wolf, she was right about Me Too, right? I'm not saying that Me Too was a bad movement. It's just, it wasn't effective. It didn't work. The president's, look at the president right now. He's the most Me Too'd man on the planet, and guess what? Nothing happened. Okay, so the issue really here is that liberals don't appeal themselves towards comedy because they don't want to piss anyone off. They don't want to have a target, right? Kamala's entire campaign didn't have a target. She was not trying to offend anybody, which means she appealed to no one. You have to have an enemy. It sucks. That's the truth, though. And comedy is all about insulting X or Y group or people, right? Or thing. There's always a subject that you make fun of. Now, of course, some subjects don't deserve it, or it's just not even funny. It's just outright like insulting and bigotry and shit, right? But others are funny, and you can make. Here's the thing. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. You can make jokes about literally any group on this planet, and it can be funny. It can also not be racist, or it could be I guess on the front cover of it racist, but it's still funny. I think the best example, honest to God, okay, this is a complete tangent, but on Twitter recently, I've seen a lot of liberals post a recent clip of Stavros Halkias, fat Baltimore Greek comedian man supreme, talking about vaguely liberal values on a show of some kind and saying, this is the guy we need to beat Joe Rogan. Ignoring that A, Stavros was on Joe Rogan and basically agreed with him the entire time, or was very conciliatory towards him. And B, also ignoring the fact that Stavros has been a liberal left comedian for a decade now, and then they haven't talked about him until now. It's what? Right? And Stavros, if you know him from anything, you probably know him from the now ended or transformed podcast Cumtown, starring him, Nick Mullen, and Adam Friedland. And if you've seen Cumtown or watched it or listened to it, sorry, you don't watch. I mean, there's a couple of live shows, whatever. If you listen to Cumtown before, you know there are a lot of jokes that to the average person, or at least to the average liberal person, seem very racist. But what you don't realize is that those jokes are at least funny, and are also, weirdly, not the lazy shit that racists go for. Because racism is lazy. That's the biggest part about it I don't like about racism. Besides the fact that it's rude to people and it's wrong and it's bullheaded. Racism is usually a very, very lazy way to elicit responses from people and to elicit comedy. Right? Because it's all based on stereotypes, which are either not true or just lame. Right? When Nick Mullen does it, it's funny because A, it's very specific, and B, you can tell from how he talks and how he expresses himself that he's drawing upon personal experiences. Because okay, you might say, Nick Mullen is racist towards Asian people, but he also lived in a Chinese person's shitty off room in New York for a couple years, to the point where he can make fun of the specific kind of Chinese New Yorker that the average racist doesn't know exists or couldn't tell the difference between, right? Because they're stupid, because they don't know anything, because their version of racism is from the internet, and the internet is full of other racists who just make fun of nothing, who are just stupid, who don't know who can't differentiate between people from different cities who are also not white. That's a funny thing if you think about it, right? Most Americans, they can make fun of certain kinds of white people from certain types of cities in America, right? You can make fun of Californian white people, make fun of Chicagoan white people, or New York white people, or Boston white people, or Southern white people. It's easy, or Texas, or Washington State. You can do it all day. But the average dummy, the average racist can't make fun of black people from New York as opposed to them from Los Angeles or from Chicago or from Atlanta, Georgia, because they're stupid and they don't actually know anything about their culture. That he can't do that because he doesn't actually care enough, right? That's what I'm saying. End goal of this podcast, okay? If you're gonna be racist, at least be educated and then be racist. Just kidding. Don't be racist. Next article. That was a weird tangent. Next article. Okay. Elon Musk's budget crusade could cause a constitutional clash in Trump's second term. Okay, I love that. That's some good alliteration there, AP. That's a good job. Crusade could cause a constitutional clash. Let's try saying that shit 3 times fast, real fast, folks. Okay, let's try it. Okay. Crusade could cause a constitutional clash. Crusade could cause a constitutional clash. Crusade could cause a constitutional clash. That wasn't fast enough, but whatever. Okay. When Elon Musk first suggested a new effort to cut the size of government, Donald Trump didn't seem to take it seriously. His eventual name for the idea sounded like a joke too. It would be called the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge, a reference to an online meme featuring a surprised-looking dog from Japan. The dog's now dead. This is the worst thing you could ever do using the internet name of a dead animal. Oh my god. Now that Trump has won the election, Musk's fantasy is becoming reality, with the potential to spark a constitutional clash over the balance of power in Washington. So, just so you know, the DGE, I'm not calling it Doge, I'm calling it the DGE because that's what it is, because you don't use the O in the abbreviation, in the acronym. The DGE doesn't have, or won't have, it's not even a thing yet, won't have any actual power. Musk and Vivek can't just snap their gross incel fingers and make anything happen. No, that's not how it's gonna work. In actuality, they just tell Trump what they think, and then Trump will then have to do stuff that he thinks through them as a filter, and then what he does will be filtered through Congress, and Congress doesn't have a conservative supermajority. It just has a majority for Republicans, and also the Supreme Court has a supermajority for Republicans, so the real fighting will be probably inside Congress. This week, Musk and Ramaswamy said they would encourage Trump to make cuts by refusing to spend money allocated to Congress, a process known as impounding. The proposal goes against a 1974 law intended to prevent future presidents from following the footsteps of Richard Nixon, who held back funding he didn't like. So, yeah, they're just gonna like try to use some like weird, legally combated sort of non-power / power the president has, right? That again, famous, super well-liked and well-regarded president Richard Nixon did. Plans for the DGE are still coming into focus. The nascent organization has put out a call for, quote, a super high IQ small government revolutionaries willing to work 80 plus hours a week on unglamorous cost cutting. Applicants are encouraged to submit their resumes through X, the social media company that Musk owns. Twitter. Dude, they're gonna find so many freaks and dummies and non-Americans. Oh, God. I'd love to read those applications. I would love. Holy shit. I would love to read those applications. I don't know how they even send them. Are they saying just to tweet the... Wait. Are they saying just to tweet the DGE, like, account? With your application? Okay. Or are they, like... Or they're like only going for the people who buy like the Twitter blue stuff for their application, or like what? How is that gonna work? That's not how you get jobs. You have to go to a website. Like what? Is there like an application? Okay, maybe it's through. Well, no, Twitter isn't the DGE. You can't apply through that. God, this all sucks. I don't want to think about it, but I would love to read what some real dummies put on their resumes for that job. Well, like, okay, I imagine it's just gonna be like Musk and Vivek having their own like new cabal of like stupid idiots who they then yell at all day, asking for how they can fix things, how they can cut everything, right? And these people they're gonna hire are not gonna be qualified. They're gonna be so f***ing dumb, and they're just gonna like not come up with the answers they want. It's gonna be so incompetent. Oh God, yes. The two wrote that they would identify the minimum number of employees required at an agency for it to perform its constitutionally permissible and statutorily mandated functions. I almost said statutorily mandated tasks, responsibilities, leading to a mass headcount reductions across the federal bureaucracy. So they're just gonna say, we're gonna find departments that don't make people money, that like help poor people, and we're just gonna get rid of them. We're just gonna like make everything a skeleton crew, which, as we know, is like the best idea for the government. As we all know, the government's problem right now is that there's too many people working there. Okay, it's not like the speed or efficiency; it's just the people. I mean, it's funny because this is like literally what Musk thinks efficiency is just to get rid of people who you have to pay every year, right? That's it. If we just get rid of the paychecks we have to cut, everything's good. Civil service protections won't apply, they argue, because they wouldn't be targeting specific people for political purposes, which is wrong. They will go after probably, they will go after like the common targets that every Republican has been after, right? Like public broadcasting, or health service officials, or regulators. It'll be so goddamn political. Holy crap. Some employees could choose voluntary severance payments to facilitate a graceful exit, but others would be encouraged to quit by mandating that they show up at the office 5 days a week, ending pandemic-era flexibility about remote work. The requirement would result in a wave of voluntary terminations that are welcome. I don't think these are going to be graceful exits. And, like, what? You're going to be dishonorably discharged from the government. What? I don't even want to imagine how many jobs just get rid of the economy, like, instantly. Holy shit. Meanwhile, the remote work stuff is 100% like not even Vivek. It's just Musk having like a grievance. Just Musk being angry that like anyone would dare to not show up to his office and hear his epic jokes for like the last like 3 years when COVID was happening, like 4 or 5 years when COVID was happening, right? That's what it is. Musk being a very wealthy man, he could just not work or not run a business. He could. even though a lot of his wealth is tied up into said businesses as stock, so I guess he has to. But you know what I mean, right? Like, he doesn't need he doesn't, like, materially need anything from anyone. But what he does need is any sort of, like, you know, praise, gratification, you know, response to any of his stupid ideas and statements, right? So what he would want most of all is an office full of sycophants who can't leave all day. And that's what he's gonna get. 80-hour work weeks, you betcha. Oh my, I don't want to imagine the type of sexual harassment he's gonna do in that office. Oh god. Musk and Ramaswamy said they would reduce regulations that they would describe as excessive. They wrote that their department will work with legal experts embedded in government agencies, aided by advanced technology, they mean AI, to review regulations that run counter to 2 recent Supreme Court decisions that were intended to limit federal rulemaking authority. So what they're saying is that they're gonna, like, Musk is gonna walk into his, like, stupid office, go on his dumb computer, play Diablo 4 for 20 hours, which is, of course, the game he loves playing. And then ask ChatGPT how to make less, like, how to lower the deficit, and then does whatever they do, right? Because he doesn't have any actual, like, independent thoughts. He's dumb. Well, they can't use Grok because Grok is stupid. Even as an AI, as far as I can tell, Grok is just dumb. You know what's funny? Okay, Grok, the stupid Twitter AI that Musk made. You know how that thing, like, operates, right? Whenever it says anything, it has to give, like, a stupid, smarmy quip at the end of it. You know what that is? That's Musk making his own horrible version of Jarvis from, like, the Marvel movies. Because you know he loves those movies and thinks he is Iron Man. And loves the Joss Whedon endless quip writing style. He loves that because he's dumb. And he wants that to be his AI. He wants that to be all of his assistants. He wants that to be everyone around him. Because he's a man-child. Ramaswamy said in an online video that they're planning regular Dogecasts to keep the public updated on their work, which he described as a once-in-a-generation project to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse. If you think my podcast is bad, folks, just wait till you get to watch Dogecasts. Ugh, I hate that word. House Republicans are expected to put Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Trump ally from Georgia, in charge of a subcommittee to work with DGE, according to 2 people with knowledge of the plans who were not authorized to discuss them publicly. Greene and Representative James Comer, the Kentucky Republican who chairs the House Oversight Committee, have already met with Ramaswamy, the 2 people said. Of course she's involved. Of course, like, the other least qualified, stupid, creep suburb woman, like the most white woman on the planet, is also involved with this. Ugh. Well, does Marjorie think she's gonna get into the... Does Marjorie think she's gonna, like, you know, enter the DGE office and find the Jewish space laser money and cut that? God damn it, man. Anyways, as for good news, folks, breaking. Matt Gaetz withdraws as Trump's pick for Attorney General. Matt Gaetz withdrew today, as recording, as President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, following continued scrutiny over a federal sex trafficking investigation that cast doubt on the former congressman's ability to be confirmed as the nation's chief federal law enforcement officer. Thank God. This is... Oh my God. Good job, Trump. Dude, not even in office yet and he's already firing people. I mean, not firing. He didn't fire him. I mean, he probably told him to quit. I don't think Matt Gaetz is smart enough to ever withdraw from things like that. I think Trump told him, we're getting a lot of bad press from this, quit. And then Matt Gaetz did as daddy told, right? Like, yeah, oh man, no way. Hang on. You're telling me the congressman in investigation for trafficking, like, teenagers who is not going to be the attorney general? What? Like, even beyond that, he's in no way, shape, or form qualified to be the attorney general, right? He's like a stupid Florida lawyer who spent most of his time just being a representative. Get him and his gross forehead out of here. Goddamn. All right, on to a very different and also horrible article I found. Class action lawsuit on AI-related discrimination reaches final settlement. Mary Lewis's excitement to move into an apartment in Massachusetts in the spring of 2021 turned to dismay when Lewis, a black woman, received an email saying that a third-party service had denied her tenancy. That third-party service included an algorithm designed to score rental applicants, which became the subject of a class action lawsuit with Lewis at the helm, alleging that the algorithm discriminated on the basis of race and income. Sounds awesome. I mean, landlords already discriminate based upon race and income. But I'm glad that we're having AI do the redlining now too. That's awesome and epic and cool. A federal judge approved a settlement in the lawsuit, one of the first of its kind, on Wednesday, with the company behind the algorithm agreeing to pay over $2.2 million and roll back certain parts of its screening products that the lawsuit alleged were discriminatory. The settlement does not include any admissions of fault by the company, SafeRent Solutions, which said in a statement that while it continues to believe the SRS scores comply with all applicable laws, litigation is time-consuming and expensive. What? They needed to destroy them. I want them annihilated off the face of the earth. Dang it. When a person submits a job application, applies for a home loan, or even seeks certain medical care, there's a chance that an AI system or algorithm is scoring or assessing them like it did Luis. Those AI systems, however, are largely unregulated, even though some have been found to discriminate. So that's cool. Hey guys, you know there's like this giant, vast economic system that controls what you're even allowed to spend your money on? Yeah, it's also unregulated, using an AI. Cool. The lawsuit alleged SafeRent's algorithm didn't take into account the benefits of housing vouchers, which they said was an important detail for a renter's ability to pay the monthly bill, which it is. Again, hang on. And it therefore discriminated against low-income applicants who qualified for the aid. So, shit, man. The civilian government can do things to help people get housing. The biggest cost anyone faces today. This giant problem everyone has. They do something that helps people like Mary Lewis here, right? With vouchers, which help pay the monthly rent. But the stupid unregulated housing market, they use a stupid AI that says, actually, no, this person's still too poor. Ignore the civilian aid given to them. No, we can't have this. God damn it. The suit also accused SafeRent's algorithm of relying too much on credit information. Of course he uses credit. Of course. Guys, there's an invisible score that just hates you all day. That will drop immediately based on any preconception of you owing anyone money. That will punish you for being too young, which is like such garbage. I mean, that's a joke, right? People made jokes about like the Chinese social credit score thing from like, you know, back in like COVID. We already have a social credit score, right? Because like, I mean, not social. You don't have like, okay, it's not judging your opinions, but it's judging your economic activity, which happens all the time, every day, and it's based upon your actions. And for all intents and purposes, might as well be a social credit score. Like, goddamn. They argue that it fails to give a full picture of an applicant's ability to pay rent on time, and unfairly dings applicants with housing vouchers who are Black and Hispanic, partly because they have a lower median credit score, attributable to historical inequities. Okay, so not even your own credit score. You can be Black or Hispanic and have a great credit score, right? Have great credit history, no problems. But since, like, they base you off of every other Black person, every other Hispanic person, they'll then be like, okay, well, overall, your kind are not as reliable. Like, what? It's bad. That's really, really bad. Me hate and no, like, SafeRent's defense attorneys argued in a motion to dismiss that the companies shouldn't be held reliable for discrimination because SafeRent wasn't making the final decision on whether to accept or deny a tenant. The service would screen applicants, score them, and submit a report, but leave it to landlords or management companies to accept or deny a tenant. That's not how it works, and you know it, you awful defense attorneys, landlords, and management companies. These people are scum, and they hate you. And you're telling me that when you give them a stupid, like, AI bullshit, like, system that they don't care how it works or know how it works, you give them that, and it tells them if the person's good or not, that they're like you're not responsible for what they choose to do afterwards. They're lazy. They'll just choose what you choose. I bet you half of these people are like told by people above them to just do what the AI says. 100%. God damn it. Anyways, yeah, that sucks. Speaking of sucks, let's go on to some real gamer shit. Alright. Here we go. The full nominee list for the 2024 the Game Awards. The Game Awards is dumb. They've always had dumb choices and outcomes, and is in general just like a really stupid industry plant show, but it's also entertaining. And it's also a good gaming content subject. Okay, here we go. Game of the Year. We have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, and Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree, which is like the controversial pick by them because it's a DLC. I mean, it's not a DLC, it's an expansion, which is a DLC. And I would say it should not be on this list, not because it's bad, mind you. It's a great DLC, it's fantastic, it's worth your money if you like Elden Ring. But it's because of Elden Ring itself. You need to own Elden Ring and need to play a lot of Elden Ring to get to that DLC. That DLC is completely and totally isolated from the rest of Elden Ring. The only thing that DLC involves in Elden Ring is like items you can get from the DLC area they can bring back into the Elden Ring area, right? But nothing about the DLC actually affects the rest of the game, from which I have to say that doesn't make it a new game. That doesn't make it an independent game. You can't just go on Steam or the store and buy just Shadow of the Erdtree and not Elden Ring. That's why it shouldn't be on here, right? It's not an independent game. It's not its own thing. It's only up there because people like it a lot, which, sure, that's great, but like they should have their own like individual category for best expansion, not best DLC, because DLC is everywhere, and I don't want to perpetuate the idea that like buying horse armor should be rewarded by the industry. It should be more like making a really cool expansion for an existing game should be up there. Also, there is an award for a continuing game, so yeah, I don't like that. The other candidates, Astrobot, from what I can tell, is a great, fun platforming game. I'd love it if I had a PS5. I'm not going to buy a PS5 for it, but I like it. It looks very charming and fun. Balatro, I have not played it. I fear if I learn to play it because I've been told it's like an extremely addicting game. It's really popular. I mean, it'd be fine if it won. Honest to God, well, not a mobile game, but a game that's popular, very popular on mobile, winning Game of the Year would be kind of interesting because, like, okay, people don't talk about this too often, but like, in terms of like gaming, people ignore the mobile gaming scene because, like, you know, you don't have a controller, you don't have a console or a big PC. You use your cell phone. You can't play games on your freaking cell phone. Meanwhile, we've been doing it for like, what, 20 years now? It's been a thing for a long time, and like a lot of those games are cheap and shitty and stupid, but some of the paid ones be pretty good. Black Myth Wukong, I haven't played it. I don't feel the need to play it at the moment. Maybe if I'm really bored, I might play it. Might buy it and play it when it's on sale. It just looks like a cool action game. I did know that like it was like super high selling in China, which makes sense because that's like making a game called like George Washington God Slayer and selling it in the US. Of course people are gonna buy that shit, right? Because, you know, it'd be fine if it won, but like I wouldn't. It doesn't seem like Game of the Year potential to me personally. The Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I haven't played it or seen much about it, so no real opinions there. And Metaphor ReFantazio, aka Persona, but like fantasy medieval stuff, looked okay. Those games don't appeal to me too hard because I don't use video games for social interactions with NPCs, which is what I which what those games seem like to me, right? Like it's almost dating sim-esque, but it's not, but it is. It ain't my style of game, unfortunately. So I'd be fine with Astrobot or Balatro winning. Anything else, I would not want Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree to win, though, because I don't think it should be up here, because it's not a game. It's an expansion to an existing game. That's not on the list because it's not the game that was released this year. Yeah. Okay, best game direction, Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring again, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Metaphor Fantasy. Okay, so the exact same nominees. Essentially, in my opinion, the same category, the same opinion. Best narrative, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Fantasio, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. Personally, on vibes alone, I want Like a Dragon to win. I want Yakuza to win, because that'd be cool. And I like Yakuza. Even though I haven't played this game yet, I still want a Yakuza game to win. Best art direction, Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring again, Metaphor Fantasio, and Neva. I think Wukong should get this. Wukong's a very pretty and beautiful game, from what I've seen. I haven't played it yet, but personally, I'd want Wukong to win. Maybe after that, Astrobot, because Astrobot seems like a really charming and fun, like, looking game. Very pretty game at that, from what I've seen. Okay, unfortunately, I have not played many current year games, because why on earth would I? Because, listen, I have the same policy with video games and with anime, alright? As in, I don't play or buy them or watch them when they come out. I wait, like, a year later and decide if it's, like, worthwhile or not based upon how people actually think about it now instead of at the moment, right? I ain't no seasonal boy. So, a lot of these games I haven't played. Also, some of them are like PS5 exclusives, which I don't have a PS5. And I'm never gonna buy one. Best score of music, Astrobot, Final Fantasy, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade. I think Astrobot win, or Final Fantasy. Usually Square Enix goes hard in those soundtracks. Audio design, Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, 7 Rebirth, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. I'd imagine Silent Hill is very good audio. Same for Hellblade. That's what I imagine. Flops, I don't give a shit. Best performance as an actor, Hannah Tell from Life is Strange Double Exposure, Brianna White, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Kimberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2, and Melina Juergens, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Don't know any of these people and have not played any of these games, so I cannot give an opinion upon this, albeit I could make a lot of uneducated jokes about it, so I will. Life is Strange. Okay, so good job. You can pretend to be a teenager even though you're 28. Final Fantasy VII. Okay, great job. You can do like the low-rent anime voice acting. Star Wars Outlaws. Oh, awesome. You can do wannabe Joss Whedon Star Wars dialogue. Silent Hill 2. Maybe you're pretty good. Hellblade 2. Maybe you can pant and scream and stuff really good. Innovation and accessibility, Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Prince of Persia Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. This should go, actually, I honestly think this should go to Diablo 4. If Elon Musk can be your top player in Diablo 4, if you let someone who is, like, quite literally the biggest retard on the planet be the best at your game, that means you are the king of accessibility. So good job, Diablo 4. Great job. Games for Impact. Closer the Distance. That's an awful title. Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Tales of Kenzera, Zao. I want Tales of Kenzera to win because I know it made like a bunch of chuds mad that there was like an Africa-inspired game. Best ongoing game, Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2. Probably, okay, Destiny 2, hell no, that game sucks. Diablo 4, hell no, that game sucks. Final Fantasy 14, Never played it. MMO, I like some MMOs. I like some MMOs, but not. Helldivers 2, that game had its time. It's gonna go to Fortnite. Like, are you kidding me? They had like 3 new modes this year for free? Okay, listen. I get it. Fortnite's stupid. The skin thing, it's all awful. The microtransactions, awful. I would argue, if I was a dumb child with a computer, but no money, no income, I would love that game because it was free. It adds a lot for free. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. Best independent game, Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei Laser Eyes, Neva, UFO 50. So, personally, UFO 50 should win because it's like a really... that game's awesome. It's gonna go to Animal Well or Balatro. But UFO 50 should win. UFO 50, if you haven't played it, it's like 50 little like retro games that are like made not to look retro, but also play and act like a retro game. And you play them in order. There's always little challenges for them. It's really fun. But it'll go to Animal Well because that's like a independent studio game that like Donkey owns, and then Balatro because it's insanely popular. Best debut indie game: Balatro, Animal Well, Mandalorian, Pacific Drive, Lucky Squire. I want to go to Pacific Drive. That's a pretty cool game. But I'll probably go to Animal Well or Balatro again. Best mobile game: AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, Endless Zone Zero. Probably Balatro again. The last 2 are gacha games. And okay, so what you should know about the Game Awards is that they're voting. When you vote online, you're only voting for like 10% of the actual votes that get counted for a category, right? Like the popular vote off the online voting is like 1 of 10 votes. The other 9 are like from like various industry people, right? So even if every single gacha player voted for Endless Zone Zero because they can goon to that game the best, doesn't mean it's gonna win. Best VR AR game: Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, Metro Awakening. Who the hell plays VR games anymore? Maybe the Batman one, since it had what's his face, Frodo in it. Elijah Wood's in it. Yeah, that one. Best action game: Black Myth Wukong, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. It goes to Space Marine 2. Why? Because Space Marine 2 is awesome. Screw all the others. Best action adventure game: Astro Bot, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. It'll probably go to Astro Bot or Silent Hill 2. Best RPG: Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree for some reason, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Fantasio. It'll probably go to Metaphor Fantasio or Final Fantasy VII. Probably Metaphor. Best fighting game: Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classic. Shouldn't be on there. Those are old games. I'll put it on there. Multiverses and Tekken 8. It'll go Tekken 8. Why is... Okay, don't put that on... don't get me wrong. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection is great, but it's a classics game. You're taking old games and just porting them to a collection. Not the same. Sorry. Best family game: Princess Peach Showtime, Astrobot, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Plucky Squire. It'll go to Mario Party or Astrobot. Best Sim strategy game: that's Frostpunk 2, Age of Mythology Retold, Kitsugami Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, Unicorn Overlord. Off of personal experience, Manor Lords should get it. But I have not played Kitsugami, and Kitsugami looks very cool, and I might actually play that. I have not played Frostpunk 2, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Age of Mythology Retold, who gives a shit? Unicorn Overlord, don't know, don't care. Best sports racing game. And can you imagine what the titles of these games are? F1, EA Sports FC, NBA, Topspin, 2K, and then WWE 2K24. Like, who gives a shit? Sure, all of them, they all win. Who cares? Best multiplayer game: Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Space Marine 2. Okay, personally, I'd give it to Black Ops 6 because I've had a lot of fun if it's multiplayer. As a purely multiplayer experience, it's very good. Space Marine 2's multiplayer is like fun and neat, but it's not what I'd like to play all day 24/7 because it's kind of slow. It ain't my pure jam. Tekken 8 might win. Helldivers 2 might win. Depends. Mario Party Jamboree? No. I'm sorry, when you talk about multiplayer, you don't mean like, oh, this game you play with your friends when you're bored and drunk at their house. No. Best adaptation: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, which just came out, so I don't even have my opinion on that shit. And then Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, which is that like animated show. So, I can have more opinions on these ones, right? Okay, I will say I have not seen Arcane. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any of my very few number of lesbian fans. I have not seen the lesbian cartoon show. I'm sorry. It looks good. I haven't seen it. Fallout, I did see. Now, Fallout fans are very contentious on the show because of what it does to the timeline, but I think individually as a TV show, it's actually really impressive and fun. So I want that to win. Knuckles looks so goddamn stupid. I'm not watching that shit. Like a Dragon Yakuza, haven't seen it. It just came out. I'll have to get around to it. Tomb Raider, don't care. No more Netflix. Okay, I don't like that style of Netflix cartoon anymore. It was fine with Castlevania, but you're just making Tomb Raider Castlevania. Make a different goddamn show. I get it. Oh, we have sex and violence and cursing in our cartoon. Isn't that crazy, Americans? Awesome. Don't care. Make something good first. Then put all the stupid shock value adult TV show. Look, we're adults now stuff in it. Later. Most anticipated game: Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, GTA 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Monster Hunter Wilds. It's gonna go GTA 6. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Monster Hunter fans. Who gives a shit? Oh my gosh, guys. You tried to go hunt giant, stupid-looking dragons and watch stupid cats cook food again? Oh. Yeah, it's gonna go GTA 6. That shit looks cool. Content Creator of the Year. We have... I don't know how to pronounce these. I'm sorry. I don't watch these guys. Sorry. KCO? Is it titled KCO or Queso or KCO? The fat guy. Ilo Juan. Techno Gamers. Typical Gamer. And Usada Pekara. It should go to Pekara. That'd be so fun. If not Pekara, then KCO. Because, you know, fat white guys, they need to win right now. Okay, they ain't having the best time. Best esports game: Dota 2, garbage. Counter-Strike 2, meh. League of Legends, garbage. Mobile Legends, bang, bang. What the hell is that? Garbage. Valorant, garbage. It should go Counter-Strike 2, because that game is actually fun to play. Everything else there is a torturous nightmare realm of playing. Best esports athlete: I do not know any of these people. Neta Shapira, Alexei Virolainen, Jong Ji-hoon, Lee Sang-hyuk, Matthew Herbao, and then Zhang Yongkang. I don't know what to say about these people. I don't know who they are. I don't watch esports. Let's just go to Zhang Yongkang because I like his little username, ZMJJKK. Best esports team: the Bilibili Gaming. No, I don't like Bilibili. Gen.G, Navi, T1, Team Liquid. Navi, because they play Counter-Strike. So yeah, that was the Game Awards nominees. I'll cover the winners when they come out, maybe. But get Elden Ring out of there. That's so dumb. So according to the Game Awards, actually, expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, remasters are eligible in all categories if they deem creative and technical enough to be worthy. Don't care. Get it off of there. It should be based on the year. Screw you. At least Pal World's not in any of these categories. That's good. That's a sign of hope. There's no Pal World. Okay. That was annoying and a lot. Last thing. Again, another local news article from the great state of Arkansas or Arkansas. An emu on the loose in Hot Springs Village from Tuesday. Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Residents of Hot Springs Village are being urged to exercise caution as an emu has been spotted wandering near the Balboa Gate on the east side of the village. Authorities are asking anyone who knows the owner or has information on the emu's current location and to contact the Hot Springs Village Animal Control. Officials have warned the public to keep their distance from the emu, as it can be very dangerous when loose. Why is there an emu in Arkansas? This is why you shouldn't own wild animals. I'm sorry. At least there's no Australians there. That'd be the natural predator, right? Is emus? Anyways, that's a wacky story. That's it for this week, folks. Don't worry. I'm still making videos. Don't hate me.